Horizontal investment versus the vertical investment is the most hot topic in a gacha space for a long time. Now, this kind of things does not even apply to all the other gacha games in a space, but it only applies to a certain gacha games, especially if the gacha game is a very much of a character dupe reliant. If I just give you an example, Udaringa, Zenlazon Zero, Honkai Star Rail, and also the Genshin Impact also going to be fall into this kind of category. And the thing about this kind of heavily reliant on a character dupe is that if you just somehow able to get a multiple character dupe into those games, your character not only gain a huge amount of damage boost but also going to gain an extra ability which you cannot even have if you have a one copy of that character. But there is also another exceptional gacha games who does not even heavily reliant on this kind of like a character dupes, but if you somehow able to get a multiple dupes into those games, your character will have a kind of like a normal status boost, nothing very much of a big difference, but they are not going to get an extra ability what the HSR and also the rest of the games does. But in this video I'm going to talk about only HSR and how the horizontal investment and also vertical investment is going to be very much of an effective gameplay and also is need to be known for the each and F2B player and also dominant player at the same time. So without further ado, let's start. So let's move on to our first topic, which is a horizontal investment. In here the players are not even committed towards a certain character, they're going to pull for whatever they like just because of the story or just because of the character design. Now it is like one of those guys who really suggesting the new players to do that. Hey, if you really like this character, don't ever listen to anyone else, just pull for that. But this kind of things may be good for other games, but when it comes to the HSR, I guess it is not going to be the fruitful one. It might be very fruitful one for the early one, but it is actually not going to be the fruitful one for the late end game. Why am I saying this? Because HSR is one of those like a highly power creep heavy game, and also HP inflation is very much of a visible for a very short period of time, because HSR is a semi-open world game and the characters between its own world interaction is very limited. For that reason they have a higher authority to release a higher amount of character in a short period of time, and for that reason the power creep is actually seeing sooner than later, which is tend to be seeing like a 2 years or 1 year later. But for the continuous release of a new character they have to change the meta, and meta is shifting very fast. So for that reason, if you are really thinking that you're really going to pull for each and every character without a proper investment, you are the false side. You might be just playing this game with a 50-50 mindset, and also you are totally playing this game as a high risk high reward, because the character that you are pulling for is 0 without a proper investment, it might be very much of workful for your current meta, or like when the meta is going to favor for your character which is you are going to pull for right now without low investment. But after some patches later it is not going to be the universal one. What if you just do it with a proper management? So that's the main thing what the horizontal investment is. But there is another part of your horizontal investment which you should even be aware of it. The first and foremost point is that if you don't even have a good amount of investment on your characters, especially with its best in slot teammates, I guess you are also going to be the sufferer in a long run. If I just give you an example, if you're just going to pull for a Castoris with E0 S0, which is a one copy no signature light gun, that player also be going to be suffer for the next patches. But they are going to be have a kind of like another shining moment when the meta is going to be the favoring for Castoris. You might be just clearing with your 4-star and also remaining characters whatever the game is providing to you, but in a long run I guess it is not going to be the fruitful one. So that's the horizontal investment players thinking mindset. Let's move on to the vertical investment. So vertical investment is totally quite opposite, or you can say the quite polar opposite of what the horizontal players mindset. In here a certain players is going to be set their mindset to a particular character, and they are not going to be the barge with a random manner when the games is throws at you. What do I mean by that is that when they see the Castoris, which is a flagship character, or you can say the Emulator class character, they are going to devote themselves to pull for a Castoris with a higher investment. Higher investment means E2 with a S1, and also they are going to get that character with the best in slot teammates with the respective edilons, which is a required one, not even going to be the overdue where E3 or E4, which is actually excessive for F2B players, but actually bare minimum requirement which is going to be best for your lowest spender and also F2B players. They are going to first achieve that part, and after that they are going to follow the rules of what the players are suggesting them, pull whatever you want. That's the main thing what the vertical investment player are doing there for a long time. They are actually not even playing this game as a 50-50, which is a quite polar opposite of a horizontal investment one. In here they already know that how much pool they require to get this character and also their best is teammate with the amount of pools. They are not even like one of those guys who really have a 50 pools and trying to get or gamble this game to get this character with a E2 or E3. That's a totally massive disappointment, because you won't be able to do that, which is a 1 in 100 chance. But they already save up to like a 300 or 400 pools to get those all of those character when the banners are rerunning. So they are actually very much much of a resistance towards like a bait banners and also random banners when the game throws at you. They do have a higher management system, and they do already know which character is going to be the very much of a good one and which character is not. So they are the one who can even shine into this game for a long run. Whatever the games throws at you, if the character is not even favoring to the current end game, or you can say the respective future end games, this kind of highly investment character can even thrive this kind of or like a respective end game without any kind of problem. Whatever the character's years, it could be if it is like a 2 years or 3 years old character, if it has a good amount of investment, this character is going to be very much of a good one. But there is another thing I'm going to talk about next, is that should you even pull for each and every character with the E2? That's the main thing that you have to understand first. First one, in this game there is a two types of character, which is the flagship characters and also the normal standard characters. The flagship characters are the considered as the emulator class. If you just somehow get those characters with a signature Litecoin and also good amount of investment with the E2 and also the respective best in slot team members with their own required Edelons and the signature weapon, you are going to be able to do with a fine setup. You don't even have to worry. If I just give you an example, HSR, which is a release of a like almost 2 years ago and also is still thriving. If you do have a good amount of a investment character in here and also best in slot teammate, for her I guess she's still going to be very much of a good in best in slot for any other end game mode wherever you really want to use her. But she does not even going to do a 0 cycle, but if you just somehow play her with optimally, she can even just clear the end game with a sustainable amount of time. That's the Echelon part. Let's move on to another part, which is going to be the another flagship character, which is the Castor's one. If you do have a good investment with the E2 S1 and also her respective team member, which is the Evernight, Hyacinth and also the Siren, if you do have all of those characters with the respective amount of Edelons, you don't even have to worry for 1 or more 3 years. That's the main thing of a flagship character, which is the Emulator class. If you do have a good investment on them, you don't even have to worry about anything else. But there is another thing. If you just invested on some random character, especially the Imbibitor, which is version 1.0 character with the E2, I guess it could be very much of a hard for you to clear the end game, but it is not that of a groundbreaking that you won't even get to clear the end game. You still going to do that, but it is not going to be the fruitful one. So there is another part what you have to understand, is that where you should be investing on and where you should not. Other than that, I already make a tier list in here, which is you can even show from on my screen, is that which character you should be pulling for the E2 case and which character you should be avoid at any cost. You can even just pause the video and click the image and set it by yourself. So that's the part. And last part is that what things that you should choose from these, so horizontal investment and also the vertical investment strategy. If you're one of those guys who don't even have a single interest into the end game mode, all you want to hear is for the enjoy the story and also character gooning, I guess you can even just choose the path of a horizontal investment, or all you have to do is just pull the random characters and also pull each and every character whatever you like, and don't even have to think about the meta things, especially their best in slot character, best in slot things, because most of the vertical investment players are playing their same character with 1,000 overtimes, but when it comes to the horizontal investment players, they are going to be playing this with new toys each and every patches, which is actually very much of a good one if you don't even care about the end game mode. But if you really want to care about the end game mode and also not going to be behind by the pools and also other rewards that the game is providing to you, I guess you have to choose the vertical investment, especially for the HSR game where the power cube is actually very much of a high and also visible, where if you really want to sustain in this game, you have to commit it yourself to a certain teams, and after that you just totally follow the trend, which is pull whatever you like. That's the main thing. And besides, also need to be checking that with what kind of character that you are committing yourself, because committing each and other character, especially if I just give you an example, if you're just committing a wrong character, especially if it is a mid one which is a back in 1.2 or 1.3, you are going to be punished whatever you are, because if you just pull for him with a E2 or E3, I guess it is another part that you are going to miss, and also you are going to even complete the end game mode with the character that you have on your roster. So that's all for this part. But another part which is that if you really don't want to invest on a certain characters, you still want to do another options, I guess there is another option which is in my case going to be the very much a fruitful option, is at least pull for a harmony character with their signature weapon and also with the respective Edelos. That's the main thing you can even do, just to totally not following the random character bullshitting and also not even following a certain teams where you have to play the 1,000 times with a single characters if you're really bored from it. If you just follow the things which is the pulling for each and every harmony character and also with the respective Edelons, you can even make any character with a powerful one. just by having those harmony character in any of those teams. By these kind of things, your pool requirement will be lower. You can even just do the horizontal investment and also vertical investment at the same time, because you are doing the vertical investment on the harmony side and you are playing with your without just totally not even going to be bored. You are just totally playing with a new shining toy each and every patches with the horizontal investment mindset. That's the main thing where you can even do that, but it is high likely going to be the unpopular opinion. Most of the people are not even going to be suggest you. Most of the people are going to be suggest you to at least follow up the flagship teammate and also do the random thing. For my final conclusion, all I wanted to say is that if you are really new player right now, I guess going for the recent which is a flagship character of a Silver Roof, getting her E2 and also signature weapon and also her best in slot team member is not even there, because you are already late into this game, but they are going to be redone very much soon, because in here character is very much frequent. So for that reason, the number of character redone is also higher than ever. So all you have to do is just totally pull for E2 S1 Silver Roof, and also some substitute option are going to be there, which is the EMC. Just playing the studio, you can even get the EMC. EMC can be helpful to make the option or make the alternate option which you are really missing right now, which is a premium of a Yaogong and also Sparksy. All you have to do, just totally save up your pools, and when this character drops, pull them and also go for them signature Litecoin, which is actually going to be very much of a blast for you. So I guess that's all for this video. If you have any kind of question regarding this or my own opinion about the horizontal investment and vertical investment and also harmony investment, feel free to leave on the comment section, and see you on the next video. Peace.